To the podcast, hablemos de lo nuevo. For the G's, by the G's, que pasa en el terreno. Vienen jugadores y se van, traiga lo nuevo. A huevo. Doesn't matter where you from. Salvador, Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua. Todo mi latino, come and listen for an hour. TikTok, que traemos lo que quiere. Todo lo que pasa dentro y fuera de las redes. Really? You don't know what it is. Reportamos con la lupa what we see at the digs. En las buenas y en las malas yo diré la verdad. Si cometen un error o tienen habilidad, la calidad del rival cuando viene a jugar. Facts. Yo no me muerdo la lengua. Got love for the crest in the city I came from. Los campeones de campeones y con copas mi race. No empezamos el programa, soy la voz de LA One. Soy la voz de LA One. Love. Yeah.
Hello, hola, and buenas, and welcome back to another episode of La Cuna Galaxiana, and we are celebratory today because we're going to be reacting to the Los Angeles Galaxy's 4-2 home win over Sporting Kansas City on Saturday, June 15th, their first of 3 games in a week, and a win that moves LA back up to 3rd place in the Western Conference. It is indeed great to be here with you guys. As always, this podcast is made with love for all you LA Galaxy fans and all you Lacuna Galaxians. What a way to start the second half of the season. As always, I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Jalon. You can find me online at El Escudero de LA, and you can find my written work at Extra Time Talk. And of course, I'm here, so you know what that means. El Yerno Guapo's here. El Gitano Perdido himself. The ride or die G, one and only homie, Ananda Kirana. Papa, dime, after an awesome Saturday, how are you feeling today?
Feeling great, man. Just like the rest of Galaxylandia, I can see it on X, on all the socials. Everyone is fired up. And yeah, I mean, what a great day out, right? What a great night out. We were having withdrawals for a couple weeks, so we haven't seen much of the LA Galaxy, and to come back and they treat us with a win. Now, Robert, it wasn't as comprehensive as would like, and we'll probably talk about that later in the show, but a win's a win. 3 points is 3 points, and especially keeps our unbeaten streak alive at the digs.
Hey, comprehensive without your talisman and quote unquote best player that you've had trouble with playing without him before. A comprehensive or not, like Vin Diesel said, a win is a win by an inch or a quarter mile, right? So take those 3 points, and run. Let's go. Man. So tell the good folk everything they need to know with this housekeeping before we go any further. And shout out to all you guys in the chat right now. We see you out there. We love you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Mucho amor.
Yeah, speaking of mucho amor, I hope you guys that came up to us and enjoy your Walter Mercado stickers. Man, we still got some more. We got tons more, guys. So guys and gals that have not received one, go ahead and next time you see us, definitely hit us up, bug us for it. And even if you need extras, might as well just give you extras.
I didn't see Raul anywhere, man. I was looking for him. I mean, Raul, where were you at, bro? Like,
let's see if he pops up in the chat. But anyways, I'll get this housekeeping out of the way, guys. So you can always follow, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana, and you can always find us on all of our socials at Lacuna Galaxiana. And of course, you guys are back here hanging out with us at YouTube. So thank you guys, and can't wait to interact with y'all today as well. Again, we are going to relive those good vibes from the other evening. And like it says on the screen, I flashed it there. If you guys like what you're listening to and have not yet, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you know when we're live, just like we're on now. And also we'll give you some information on some upcoming, shows, some special guests, maybe some special episodes, go ahead and keep yourselves informed and go ahead and give us that sub and hit the like button, guys. Just smash it up. Don't forget, go ahead and smash up those likes. Do it now before you forget. And those of you on playback, yeah, go ahead and smash back. Oh, what is that song? Hey now, Rockstar. Anyways,
Yeah. There
that's
you go. There you go.
Late 90s, right? Anyways, we're dating ourselves. Moving on. So guys, of course, as Rob always says too, put someone on. If you got some homies, you got some people that are looking for Galaxy content, go ahead and put someone on and spread the love. And of course, Roberto, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días,
Dime.
tardes o noches y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de La Cuna Galaxiana.
Beep, beep, beep,
And
beep.
before I turn it back to you, I am going to flash this up as well because I didn't get to do mine, but I purposely did that because I wanted to hear yours first. And chat,
Ooh.
go ahead and flash up your one-word match reactions to that 4-2 victory at the Digs against Sporting KC. Papa, te toca.
Oh, well, let me déjame adelantar un momentito. Let me put it off for just 1 second.
Let chat go off then.
Well, chat, like I said, thank you guys for being here. Big Edwin, thank you so much, man, for coming up and saying what's up to us. If y'all don't know,
Nice to see you, man.
Me, Ed, and his lady Astrid took a nice adventure up to San Jose at the beginning of the season. Serendipitous that we met each other and we got to have that time. It was great seeing you guys. Snaps, man. There's only one thing that I can say about the day. My one word is celebratory. It was a good vibes. Again, the Galaxy put out this 4-2 win without, two of their best players on this roster, Gaston Brugman and Riqui Puig, and they, people say it wasn't convincing. I mean, anytime that you have you put four past one of your bogey teams, and you could have had a couple more. It might not be comprehensive, but they did their thing. So that's mine. Te toca.
Well, it's funny. I had a word, but then you said something really interesting that popped a different thought in mind. And I'm going to follow your footsteps here a little bit, Robert. I'm going to say hopeful. Hopeful because, like you said, now there's a different dimension to this team now. This team shows that it can win without not only Riqui Puig, but remember Gaston Brugman, two important generals in our midfield, Rob. And we won. I mean, we scored. We put 4 past SKC, who granted is not a great team, but SKC has always been a really difficult team for us. More so away from home than at home, but still, we saw what happened in Chicago, right? So trap games, etc. So
trap games.
So hopeful, definitely hopeful for the future. And we'll talk about another couple of key contributors as well. That's also giving me more hope for the L Galaxy, but we'll get there later. And I'm going to let you roll on to your shout outs because I know we got a lot of them.
Yeah, we have a fair amount of them, but Crespo says blur. Yeah, if you were to ask my dad that, he would concur. My dad was out there for Father's Day. He hasn't made a game in a little bit, but he was out there for Father's Day. He had a great time. Thank you so much for everybody that got to share a moment with him and make him happy. That makes my heart happy. So thank you so much. Mama Jalan, not so happy. Papa Jalan on punishment now. It is what it is. So yeah, and I got to see some of that fun. Anyway, but yeah, let's hit some shout outs here. I'm sorry. I missed one here. One of the one words.
That was Edwin.
Edwin says confidence. Yeah, it definitely, gives you that confidence that better things are coming. Like I said, confidence, leads to that swagger on the pitch, that belief, hey, we're going to go out and win. A couple years ago when Bruce was coach, like teams would go to the Digs and know, like, oh man, we're copping an L today. That's the way it's starting to become this year. Unbeaten still at home, the LA Galaxy. And now they just, the theme of the last pod, they just need to find that consistency to just keep on doing it. Can you imagine they go all of 2024, no losses at home? That would be a huge accomplishment. But before we get there, let's reel it back in. It's just one win, but we're going to go ahead and give them their flowers for the win because, again, no Gaston, no Riqui, and I liked what I saw. So yeah, let's get into these announcements, guys. The taco is super close from reaching their goal. That's LA Taco. Subscriptions are $5.99. They just had their Taco Madness extravaganza this past weekend. Go ahead, check it out on socials. It looked like an amazing time, man. Tacos everywhere. So go ahead and support them for good local LA journalism. They're coming into the home stretch there, and they're super, super close. So go ahead and support them. Normally we do shout outs about other folks, Ananda, but today I'm doing a shout out for my co-host,
Hey, yo.
who will be dropping a, and he kind of teased this earlier because he's that big teaser here. He kind of said something about this. Ananda and El Profe Alex, friend of the show, will be dropping a new series based on tactics here. The first one is on the man who broke out in a big way this past weekend, Gabriel Peck. So go ahead and watch out for that. The time of this recording, it's Monday night. Watch out for it on Tuesday night. Is that right, Ananda? Tuesday night?
Yeah. Yep. It's going to be premiering tomorrow night at 9 p.m. And it is YouTube only. I think Gary asked that last time. So it is going to be YouTube only, guys. But go ahead and tune in. We just recorded it yesterday, and Alex and I had a great time. Me and Alex, we will just geek out on stats and stuff. But I think it's really interesting, and it's really serendipitous that Gabriel Peck had the performance that he did. So it's going to be really fun, kind of looking back at the season leading up to almost like a climactic event that was yesterday. So go ahead and tune in, guys. The link is actually in the description of this video. So afterwards, go ahead and check it out if you want to bookmark it or save it, however you want. But of course, if you're subscribed to Laguna Galaxiana, you already got the notification. So there you go.
Exactly. Which is another, reminder. Subscribe, y'all. Come on. You want to do it? It's just so easy. And then you don't have to worry about anything like, oh, what did I have to do on Monday night? That's right. Listen to Lacuna. You don't have to even think about it anymore. You just get that notification from your phone. You're eating dinner. You're watching the pod, having a good time. But yeah, catch this new series with Ananda and El Profe. You guys are going to like what you see. And of course, like Ananda said, it drops at just the right time because this man did go off. All right. Well, keeping it moving. Speaking of no pun intended, another man that went off for dang sure, John McCarthy will become a dad for the second time. He is this picture here is of his current child and his dog, and a picture of the new baby to come. So congratulations to John McCarthy. Honestly, when I saw this photo, I didn't read like what it was about yet, and I saw the dog, and I was like, "Oh, the dog!" And I didn't even see the picture and the baby, because everyone out there that knows me knows that I'm all about pups. So, by the way, shout out all you cool pups that were at the game for Bark at the Park or Pups at the Pitch or whatever the Galaxy are calling it. You all looked lovely and gorgeous. So yeah, shout out to John McCarthy for his second child. And since we're on pappies and fathers, and I mentioned my dad already, happy Father's Day to all the G's out there that are lucky enough to have that pops in your life, or you had them in your life, man. Certainly I know my pops is a blessing. Ananda, I know that you're very, very close with your pops too. And of course we have right here Cosmo with Cos Dad right here. If you were at the game, you saw them running around and banging on scoreboards and stuff like that. So again, shout out and happy Father's Day to all you G's out there. I hope you had a beautiful day. I saw the homie Tony Toscano pop into the chat. Stick around. I got something for you for dang sure. Big Tony. Saludos to Ed as well. Gary, if I haven't said what's up to you, man, what's up? You know what? Wait a second. Gary Cambron says, I took my guinea pig. Oh, dang. I hope you have pictures of that. We got to make the guinea pig a little Galaxy jersey. You know what? Just, I don't know if you knew this, Gary, but Gui is like an Ecuadorian thing. I don't mess with it. But it's very big in the mountains or in La Sierra where my wife is from. You don't really mess with it either, but just careful around Ecuadorians and guinea pigs, man. I just gotta let you know that. But yes, send a picture. We want to see the guinea pig. And yeah, man, there was a lot of good stuff going out there. Like Cosmo, as you can see, and his dad were out there celebrating. We also got to take part in a wonderful Juneteenth barbecue celebration, thanks to Comets. Shout out Matthew for putting that together. Shout out to Matthew's mom who was out there and helping him out and stuff like that too. Man, the barbecue was great. It was fire. It was provided by My Father's Barbecue. DJ was tasty. The tunes were on lock. And again, most of all, for me, like I said, my pops had a great time, and that's, that was my main goal of the day is having Papa Jalan have a good time. It was really, really awesome as well because Lars and Comets, well, Lars invited Comets to share their usual tailgate spot. So Comets, was out there doing this event, but then Lars took it one step further by letting Matthew present the Lars player of the match, and of course they give out their traditional growler and stuff like that. So congratulations to Matthew. Wonderful event, man. If you guys don't know, memberships are now open for Comets. They did have a sign-up sheet out there. Go ahead and hit up Matthew for more information. Of course, they put out the trading cards as well. They're on their second set right now. You have some Galaxy greats, past and present, like El Tanque Hurtado and Jonah Dos Santos, and then of course you have current Galaxy players like Jalen Neal. So go ahead and check them out on their socials, and then you guys will go ahead and be treated to some goodness for dang sure. Shout out Matt, thank you so much for everything, man.
Yeah, and really quick before we move it along too, Robert, just wanted to shout out everyone that came up to us and interacted with us. I met so many people that Rob we interact with online or in the chat, but we really, we haven't never put a name to a face.
We met Big Heck.
We met Big Heck, so shout out Big Heck wherever you are, man. And then Luchador, Robert, we met Luchador finally.
Yeah, we did.
A name to the face. So thank you again, guys. I mean, we really appreciate all the love, and that for me was the best part of the whole tailgate, was just meeting everyone, and again, we're just one big happy family, right? So that's awesome. That's the best part.
Nah, son, your favorite part was watching my dad catch the fade from my mom, bro.
Like, that was 1B, 1A and 1B.
Yeah, I saw you laughing your head off about that one. I was like, I'm gonna stay at that one. Anyway, happy birthday to Galaxy legend Kobe Jones, the former U.S. international. Man, what a part of Galaxy history, man. Former G coach, former G striker, current analyst for MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. I mean, when I say big part of this history, I mean huge. Played for Los Angeles 351 times over 11 years. In the regular season, he scored 70 goals and had 91 assists. In the playoffs, he had 45 games under his belt, 6 goals and 13 assists. He won the Champions Cup in 2000 with the Galaxy, an MLS Cup in 2002 and 2005, the Supporter Shield in 98 and 2002, the U.S. Open Cup in 2001 and 2005, was named the U.S. Soccer Athlete of the Year in 98, and he is the most capped player in U.S. men's national team history. If that weren't enough, he was named one of the greatest players in MLS history, one of the 25 greatest players in MLS history. And in 2005, he became the last player in MLS to remain with his original team since '96. I mean, that's fidelity. That's faith right there. That's like Francesco Totti, Raul level. That's Ryan Giggs level. Like, I mean, you just don't see those kind of players anymore that just like get to a club and stay. So happy birthday to Kobe Jones. And I'm happy to report he's super nice as well. I mean, we run into him all the time in the press box and, walking by him and stuff like that. But curious, do you have a favorite Kobe memory? I know that you said, Bex was more around your era, but, do you have anything that you remember Kobe for, national team or Galaxy?
Well, it's interesting. Like even when we were talking to El Tanque, the clip that we played for him, remember that, Robert, when we did the episode with El Tanque? And that was with Kobe Jones, right? And so even just the first Galaxy goal, the first memory. I mean, what a way to kick it off, right? With two legends, two to-be legends of the LA Galaxy.
Yeah, man. They're originals. That's all I can say. I mean, Kobe, if you're out there, open invitation to come on the show. We would love to have you, and have you give us some of your early remembrances of El Tanque. Maybe El Tanque told us a little bit about you back in the day, but now you gotta let us know a little bit about Tanque back in the day. So speaking of legends, a couple of legends, Brazilian legends, were in Southern California, Ananda. I don't know if you heard about this, but there was the Game of Legends, which was basically like Team Ronaldinho versus Team Kaká. It was a 6-versus-6 celebrity soccer match held at the Toyota Arena yesterday on June 16th. And one of our very own former G and current translator for Gabriel Pecky, Juninho, participated. I always say this, but I do love my goals against Seattle, and Juninho scored that goal against Seattle to take us into the next round of the playoffs, where they eventually would capture another MLS Cup. So good on Juninho. But while he was there, Diego Fagundes and Gabriel Peck were there to support him. Again, I've said this as well on this pod, where there's a Gabriel Peck, there's usually a Juninho. So Gabriel Peck and Diego Fagundes made sure to go out there and support him in this game. I believe he was part of Team Kaká, and Team Kaká actually did win. And then, of course, they had to show these legends a little bit of love here with a Galaxy jersey. So I think we have a graph. Oh, that's Junie with Diego and Gabriel Peck, and then we have Gabriel Peck showing some love to the Brazilian legends. There's number 10 Kaká, of course, and then Ronaldinho showing off that new LA Galaxy kit. Hopefully, they go ahead and rock those proudly. I read somewhere, and I didn't know this one. Apparently, Ananda, Bruce Arena was trying hard to get Ronaldinho in at one point. And so somebody said that he's probably punching the air right now, seeing Ronaldinho hold up a Galaxy kit. So, too little, too late? I don't think so. He's holding it up now. So congratulations to those guys, because I'm sure they had a wonderful time. Speaking of former G's like Juninho, there was a former G in the building on Saturday. Barcelona defender Julian Araujo was there. And Tony.
Hey, Tone, there he is.
Remember I said I had something for you? This is Big Tone's picture here. Proof that Julian Araujo was in the building. Of course, if you were watching the game on TV, you heard Julian Araujo take to the announcer's box, and then he claimed that Gabriel Peck's goal was lucky because he was in the building and currently speaking. So shout out Julian Araujo. Remember, guys, we let you know on the last pod or the pod before that he is in Hansi Flick's plans. He will be training with Barcelona's first team. So good luck to him. And I hope that he nails down a spot there for that Barcelona first team. Guys, Julian is really well known for his tattoos. In fact, so well known that the Galaxy did a spot with him and 805 Brewing. And so the Galaxy earlier in the year, they did like a flash tattoo kind of thing. So apparently the G that was tattooing back then or for that promotion is putting up a sale till the end of the year, up until the end of 2024, where he's doing the same tattoos that he was offering then. If you guys are watching this, you guys see the graphic up there, but for anybody that's listening to it, it's various forms of the logo and the logo type, the crest. These are going to run $60 for 2 inches. There's 9 different designs. And if you are interested, hit up flow.art@gmail.com. That's flow spelled PHLOW.art@gmail.com, or you can hit them up on Twitter at JFlow25. That's JPHLOW25 on Twitter. Ananda, I think I might just get a tattoo, man. Should we go ahead and get that Galaxy crest here soon?
I mean,
make a bet?
What I was gonna say, what wager are we putting here?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Geez, we'll have to think about that one.
TBD.
Chat, if Chad, if you have a bet here for us, really there's no loser on this one because we would each be getting a Galaxy tattoo. But anyway, go ahead and throw some bets, guys. So guys, we have brought you this one before. Eric Zavaleta will be throwing out the first pitch for Salvadoran Heritage and I at the Angels on June 30th. Go ahead and hit up AFJA for more information about that. We have also told you about the San Jose away trip that ACB is putting on. That's an overnight bus trip leaving on June 29th, returning on June 30th. That'll take you to Stanford Stadium where you can make all the good memories with ACB. And ACB is, of course, doing their June fundraiser, trying to help out CRSELA, or Chick Rockers Southeast Los Angeles, an organization committed to working with at-risk trans youth in Southeast Los Angeles. Go ahead and hit up ACB socials for more information on how to donate to the Amazon link. Guys, G's Run LA is looking for participants for their 5K. They're about half full. They are capping this at 96 participants, though, so go ahead and get on this. This is a couple of days after El Tráfico on July 6th, so make sure not to go too hard at El Tráfico. And speaking of El Tráfico, we are now 17 days away. This is going down, of course, on the 4th of July at 7:30. Guys, I did find out that parking is $50 in advance, $60 on the event day. So go ahead and find some parking on AXS. Call your ticket rep. Do what you got to do. Get it ahead of time because that's the only way to save a little money. Unless you're a season ticket member, in which case you already have those. There is another option to take the shuttle from Parsons campus. The shuttle is free. However, parking at Parsons is $30. So, you're saving a little bit of money there. Gates for the game on the 4th of July open at 1:30 p.m. And the first 2,500 guests will get a commemorative poster. Ananda, we got to get that poster, man. We got to make it happen. The Galaxy are doing a beach cleanup on June 22nd. That's Cabrillo Beach, guys. That's taking part for World Ocean Month from 3 to 5 p.m. on June 22nd. Afterwards, the Galaxy will be having a watch party at San Pedro Brewing Company for the Galaxy's trip away to RSL. And we have let you know as well about the Liga G starting the new season. Season 14 starts on July 10th, 2024. And like we said, there will be a new champion. Mamba's taking a hiatus, so there will be a new champion. After 3 straight titles, a new team has a chance to go ahead and take La Orejona. Ananda, do you want to do your pitch? I know you told me last time you wanted to go ahead and say a little something.
No, you know what? I think we're good, man. I'm starting to do, I was going to make a little plea to the folk about, Liga G, anyone that wanted to play for Hakuna Matata. But man, we've had some pretty good tryouts recently, Robert. So, but of course, DMs are always still open, guys, if you do want to try out for Hakuna Matata. But let me tell you, we got some stiff competition. We got some good players coming in this year. So like you said, Rob, we're going to be a problem. I think we're going to be a problem next year.
That's a Profe Alex thing right there. We're gonna be a problem. You're right. We have had a couple of new heads come through and try out, and we have found some gems. So shout out to all you Hakuna Matata boys. Yes, we are going to be a problem.
Shout out Tabs in the chat. Kevin Cabral, the real Kevin Cabral.
oh, if it were only so, right? All right, guys, we're going to bring you our VCFC update. Their last match was on the road again. That was their second straight road game against Colorado Rapids 2. That was yesterday, Sunday, June 16th. They ended up tied 2-2 after regulation. Isaiah Parente got another goal. That's his third of the year. And Aaron Bibu scored in the 79th minute to tie it 2-2. And then this game went to penalties where VCFC was able to bring it out 4-2. They got the 2 points here because in MLS Next Pro, you get the win in penalties. You get the 2 points. This win takes them to third in the standings with a 6-4-3 record. They are now on 26 points. They've only lost once in the last 5 games, Ananda. So I love to see that the first team is doing well. I love to see that VCFC is doing well because the Galaxy have spoken so many times about how it needs to be the same product from the first team all the way down to the academy. And man, the Academy's doing their thing, VCFC's doing their thing, the Galaxy are doing their thing. Good foundations. I like it. So next up for VCFC, they'll be back at home at the Willie Roll. That'll happen on Sunday, June 23rd at 5 p.m. They'll be playing Vancouver Whitecaps 2. And Ananda, I saw you flash it, so I got to go there next. Gino Vivi might be leaving. This has been reported from Costa Rica. Of course, I'm one of those people that don't believe anything until there's an official announcement by the team, or I see that man holding up that Saprissa shirt there live in video. But reports out of Costa Rica have him joining Deportivo Saprissa on loan in Costa Rica. Of course, he started there in their U20s, and this looks to be a loan deal for 6 months. And he's been playing pretty well for VCFC this year. He has 5 goals in 11 appearances. I did remember saying like 2 or 3 weeks ago that it had been a couple games straight where we've mentioned Gino Vivi scoring a goal. So we've seen him at the CVI. What do you think about this one?
I'm going to say the same thing that I've been saying about all these other players, like Fercranes, even Aguirre. These guys need developmental time, right? Now, granted, he has been getting a lot of developmental time in VCFC. And again, I'm not privy to like the level of quality that's in Costa Rica versus the level of quality that's in MLS Next Pro, right? But again, these guys are looking for developmental time. And so if he wants to go back to, Costa Rica, which I'm sure that's somewhere where he's comfortable, obviously he's from that country. So again, not a bad move. Again, if he wants to develop his game and sort of raise his game to the next level. But like you said, he has been performing well. So this is a little bit of a surprise. And it's not the same cases like a Fercranes, for example, where he was not getting any playing time. He is getting some time. But looks like, could be a good move elsewhere. Again, this is just for a short period of time. That's just a loan. So
yeah, 6 months, not a long time. I rate him. We've seen him at the CVI. We've seen him with VCFC, and he produces. Tucker out there in the Carolinas. A shout out, Chris Tucker. He was for it, if I remember correctly, in his tweet, and he said, too good for MLS Next Pro, but not quite there for the first team yet. So this is good for his development. I mean, if he's going to get first team minutes, I'm all about it. Well, we'll bring you more news on that one as it develops. Nothing official yet. But the Galaxy could be looking to shift more bodies because they might be bringing in those heavily linked players. Of course, we're talking about your Marco Royce. I think that's the hottest one there. But again, we'll bring you more news on that one as it develops.
Yeah.
And then
I was going to say last thing on that too, Rob, and you remember Gino Vivi and Johnny Perez are kind of similar age, similar development wise, right? Where they are in the careers. I mean, that's the thing, right? You compare that guy to a guy like Johnny Perez. I mean, Johnny Perez for me is ahead of him in sort of both talent and sort of upside, for at least from what I've seen on the pitch. So again, it's one of those things where competition for places. I think Chris Tucker is right. Probably too good for VCFC, but maybe not quite there for first team action yet in MLS. So again, a good move for him, I think.
Yeah, well, good luck if he does end up going. And when and if he does, we'll let you know, guys. But now let us go ahead and go to the reason we are all here, because we are celebratory. We are having a good time. We are stoked about the LA Galaxy's 4-2 win over SKC. Let's get into this recap. Guys, this section of the pod is brought to you by Raquinho Industries. Thank you so much for watching. Ananda, let us know about what you think about this lineup here, man. We had Jalen Neal returning to partner Yoshida. What else did you make of this?
Well, first of all, shout out they always do this right for Mother's Day and Father's Day. So I love that. I love the way they do those graphics and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, it was interesting, right? So we just heard, I think we just recorded the last pod. And then right after that, Robert, we got that report about Riqui, right? And he was very touch and go up until pretty much the match. And it sounded like the day of, you and I were, yep,
got him, Chief.
I got myself, thank you. But yeah, so obviously, when we pulled up to the stadium, we were both looking at our phones. We're like, damn it. And that kind of spelled a little bit of trouble, right? That gave me a little bit of nervousness on top of the fact that, we had a good feeling that Gaston wasn't going to play either. So, who do we have for cover, right? Now it's going to be interesting. Well, I'm going to talk about this later. I'm going to save this because I think it was very interesting and very smart what Greg did in terms of a solution for that. But no, other than that, happy to see Dayon obviously back in the starting lineup. What else, Rob? What was that? Oh, Jalen Neal's inclusion. I said it before, right? If I had a choice, I would have started Jalen. I think he should be our first choice center back. I think that's the way the center backs complement each other skill set wise, I think is a good fit. Any other surprises for you, man? I mean, obviously, other than the omissions, the injuries.
I'm kind of surprised that Garces didn't not make even the bench. He's at least been he's at least been making the bench, and again, Greg speaks very highly of him. I'm gonna keep on pestering Greg. Like, when might we see him? When might we see him? I mean, he speaks very, very well of him, but despite him making the bench in previous matches, he did not make the bench in this one. And you would think because of the issues with injuries that he might at least make the bench. Nope, not for this one. But yeah, I think everything else was standard. I mean, we knew that Joseph Painsil was coming back from injury. He probably would not start. Johnny got to start for him. Diego for Riqui, which makes sense. And then Gaston was out, so natural replacement is Uno Studio. So yeah, all that made sense. I see that Matt and from comments is in the chat now. Matt, before I forget, and we spoke, about the wonderful time that we had hanging out with you guys before at the top of the show. But thank you so much for making my pappy happy. He had a great time. I appreciate it so much, and he won't stop talking about it. And I just love that for him. I did share with everybody that he did get in quite a bit of trouble from Mama Jalan, but he said it was definitely worth it. So thanks so much, man. Tab letting us know that Emilio Garces traveled to Denver with VCFC. Thank you so much for letting us know. So there you go. Does not look like if he's getting the time, it's with VCFC and not with the first team right now. So
I'm okay with that.
Maybe a fitness thing right now. I mean, they did lose for Canis, so he needs to step in and get some minutes, way to build his fitness. I'm okay with that too. I'm okay with that too. Thank you, Tab, aka Cabral, for letting us know about that one.
Well, one quick last thing, Rob, before we move on to the match summary.
Yeah.
So regarding the lineup, and I was happy to see Johnny. I was really, really happy to see Johnny. I thought
all day.
I thought he deserved the start from his last performance. Greg talked about it post-match that given that he's had two good performances now, unfortunately only in a 45-minute role, which you'll talk about what happened to him in the summary. And then the other interesting note, I would say on the other side, Rob, is no Shalawi. I don't know what happened to him, but he was my danger man from the last preview, and
the Lord answered my prayers.
I was happy not to see him, but of course, I mean, they've got some other dangerous guys, Eric Tommy, as we saw on their goal. So yeah, but yeah. I thought, again, really happy to see Johnny in that starting 11.
Yeah, man, me too. Everyone knows I love me some Johnny P, the Pride of Pico. But man, he has bad luck, and we'll get into that here in a moment. But guys, the match summary here: playing the first of 3 matches in a week. In a span of 7 days, the Galaxy earned that 4-2 win in front of 22,000 fans at Dignity Health Sports Park on Saturday over the weekend. So hopefully you were with us there on Saturday night, because the Galaxy put on a scoring clinic. 4 different players scored as they earned their 3rd consecutive win at home dating back to May 25th. They've outscored opponents 9-4 in that span, and they had one of their best offensive performances in this one. They recorded a season high 10 shots on goal in this win. You had a lot of standout performances in this one. I mean, we do have defending the badge candidates, but we also have players that deserve to be shouted out because they did fantastic in this match. I mean, Mickey Yamane continues to impress. He had 2 assists in this one. He completed 51 of 57 passes, won 7 possessions in just his 17th appearance for the Galaxy. Somebody said on Twitter, Ananda, Caligari is good, but Yamane's been outstanding. So a lot of people were very concerned when Caligari didn't get re-signed. Well, it paved the way for Mickey Yamane, and now look where we are. He did fantastic. I mean, it was really hard not to put Mickey Yamane in there over somebody else in defending the badge.
I mean, Rob, a lot of people were worried when Tyler Boyd didn't get re-signed, and look where we are now. So there you go, guys. I feel like in Will we trust, right?
He done miracles on me for sure. Guys, other G's that deserve a shout out here with their appearances in the second half as second half subs. Tucker Lepley, who is a very nice young man, by the way, and Ruben Ramos, the 17-year-old LA Galaxy Academy product, both made their MLS and LA Galaxy debuts in this match. Ruben Ramos Jr. in particular is a good one, guys, because he's 17 and 145 days, making him the fourth youngest player ever to appear in an MLS match for the Galaxy. So you have now he's part of your history. I mentioned Tucker earlier in the show. I'm sure somewhere he's out there salivating and putting Ruben Ramos Jr. into his trusty spreadsheet and getting all the good facts about him. Guys, congratulations to these two Gs for making their debuts. Again, Tucker Lepley's such a nice guy, man. I'm really happy for him. Yeah. And I mean, nice to the point that he came in and introduced himself to every press member at the press conference. God, who does that? That's beautiful.
Well, really quick story too. When we were in Austin, Rob, I don't know if you caught this, but we were all chanting and stuff, and the couple of the VCFC players were sitting actually a few rows in front of us, and we were chanting and stuff, and I was walking down. And obviously I was like singing and stuff, and he looked back and like gave me a thumbs up. He said, "Hey man," like kind of like he like acknowledged me, and we were like kind of like vibing. He's very, very nice, like very what's the word? Like just very conscious of the fans and like very gracious, and a very humble dude. So yeah, really, really good guy, it seems like.
Well, I'm super happy that there are we've been talking about history today, so they're now part of that Galaxy history. And this game is now on the books, so that means that in 2 matches this year, the Galaxy has not lost to Kansas City. They have an unbeaten record of 2 games, 0 losses, and 0 ties. Of course, the first match was a good come from behind win, and we spoke about on the last pod them getting out and controlling this game and establishing the tempo. Greg spoke about the consistency, being who we are, playing how we play, and finding our consistency inside that. And I think they did. I mean, how do you rate their start in this one?
Yeah, I think it was a good start. I think we kind of lost it more in the second half, but I thought the start was good, and I thought we got off with the right intensity and the right foot. Our passing plays were really good. Like I said, I want to talk about this later because I know it's one of our key points, but I really just like the balance in the team. Greg Vanney talked about this too post-match. The balance of the formation and that 4-2-3-1. I think there's something there, Rob. I think there's something there that Greg Vanney's got to look at and say, this gives me the most balance offensively and defensively. Even the 2 goals that we gave up later in the game felt like those were probably just, kind of just a like 10% lapse in concentration that leads to those mistakes. From a set piece. Right. And one of them sort of set piece. But again, we might talk about that goal later. But I think, again, it was just a lapse in concentration. But I think organizationally, I really like the way that 4-2-3-1 works. So something I think Greg Vanney should look at moving forward.
Yeah, I think they controlled the first half pretty well. They did open the scoring there. Dejan got off the mark there in the 40th minute. A really good interplay, man, with him and Gabriel Pecky. We'll break that down a little bit later. But yeah, they went into the half 1-0. I mean, that's all you could ask for this team, right? Them to come out score first. They had them in scoring first. They had been getting scored first on plenty. So they came out, they got that first goal, and then they came out into the second half and they got their second one. Again, Dejan and Gabriel Pecky hooking up, and Dejan feeding Gabriel Peck this time for the 2-0. And this is the one I believe that Gary Cambron was asking. This is the one where Julian Araujo said that he was good luck, and when Gabriel Peck scored. So, yep, go ahead and Gary, catch that on the replay there. You'll go ahead and get to hear Julian Araujo speak about his love for Dejan as well.
Yep.
But this wouldn't be an LA Galaxy match without them giving up a goal, right? And that's exactly what happened. They gave one back on a cross from the flank for SKC to make it 2-1. But then, just when people were starting to kind of bite their fingernails, the two DPs that were on the field, Gabriel Pecky and Joseph Painsil, combined for the 3-1. It was Joseph Painsil's fifth goal, in it was a heck of a way to do it in his return. And then, of course, we already spoke about the set piece goal, Ananda, provided by Johnny Russell. Of course, he always does something against the Galaxy. But I am going to give him a pass because he was nice to Tony and took a picture with Tony in the tunnel. That was one of the pictures that Tony put on Twitter as well. So I'll give him a pass for that. But yeah, he provided the in-swinger for Robert Castellanos' goal there. So 3-2. I remember you and I. Man, got me, champ.
You and I.
Yeah, got me, champ. I remember we were sitting there when it was 3-2, and we were.
And what did I say?
Fretting.
What did I say, Robert? What did I say? What did I say?
I don't remember. What did you say?
I said it's 4-2. You're like, nah, man. The Galaxy 4-2, Rob. We're on the front foot. We've gave up really, really silly goals, but 4-2, just too much verve, too much attacking verve. And what happened?
Well, if that is in fact what happened, I am glad I was wrong, and Ananda was right. Miguel Berry gets his second goal of the year. He gets that in swinger from Gabriel Peck, and he slides in the back post, and he gets his second goal of the year. For all you Berry haters out there, mwah, that one's for you. Miguel Berry went off and he celebrated it. He deserved it. I mean, again, this cat's going to be on the field 10 or 15 minutes, and when he does, he's got to make that impact, and he did. Yeah. So congratulations to him. Ananda, what you got for us in the way of match stats? I said earlier that I feel like the Galaxy weren't as perilously poised on this one as people want to think. Like, I think they controlled this one more than they the eye test leads on. But of course, data will support that or refute that. Yeah. What you got for us?
Well, let's check it out together, Robert, because actually I just copied and pasted this, and I actually didn't have a time to analyze this. So let's analyze this together and see what we can pick out. So pretty interesting if you're talking about controlling the game, Rob. Ball possession was pretty equal in this match, 51% for the LA Galaxy to 49 for SKC. Expected goals, 3.22 to 2.68. Again, in the end, it was a 4-2 scoreline. So we did take a little bit more of our chances, but here's where we can take a little bit something out of it. Very interesting there that there was 20 total shots by SKC, but Robert, only 4 of them on target. Versus if you look at the LA Galaxy, we had 12 total shots, so 8 less than SKC, but we had 10 our target. So a lot of our chances were higher quality chances, and that's what we want from the LA Galaxy. I haven't taken a look at the shot map yet, but I want to guess that a lot of those shots did come in and inside the 18. And guys, just a little preview. I don't want to spoil it too much, but if you check out the video that I did with Alex Ruiz, we highlighted that a lot, and especially in Gabriel Peck's game. We've got to get our forwards, our inside forwards, our wingers in and around that penalty box to get them into dangerous areas. And it looks like, Robert, the Galaxy did that because we had 10 shots on target, 7 big chances to 5 for SKC.
Here's a stat that I don't like, though.
Yeah, 4 big chances missed for the Galaxy and 3 for SKC. But look, the reality is, Rob, we are getting a lot. Like this game, 7 big chances. That's a lot of chances, man. But you know what? JP, for example, got to bury that one home, especially if
he had 2
game chances were different. Yeah, definitely had a couple of big chances. So, but again, we are creating these chances. I would be more worried, Robert, if we were not creating as many chances as we are, and we were not peppering the keeper as much as we are. accurate passes, very interesting, very from a control perspective, not your typical LA Galaxy performance. 479 to 463 accurate passes. Fouls committed 10 for the Galaxy to 6 for SKC. 5 corners for the Galaxy and 4 for SKC. So going back to your point about, you didn't feel like the Galaxy controlled this all the way. You're probably right. The stats, possession was fairly even. Accurate stats were fairly even. But what have I said, Robert? I feel like this team is most dangerous on transition. Funnily enough, the 3 of the goals weren't really, they were kind of on a semi-transition, not really transition. The one that was on transition, though, peach of a ball from Yamane over the top to Gabriel Peck on that left side. And all he had to do was just, put JP into space. That's where we're the most dangerous. But it was almost like, we in certain phases of the game, we're like, okay, SKC, like come at us a little bit, come at us, and we're just hitting for that right moment. But I feel like in that particular phase of the game, Greg Vanney talked about it post-match, we kind of backed off of maybe a little too much and lost our aggressiveness. So I had to pick that back up, especially when JP came in, man. That having that threat off the bench. What did I say last time, Robert? It's a blessing having a guy like JP, Johnny Perez, those offensive weapons off the bench when you need to change a game, and we sure did that.
The 2 JPs, Joseph Panso and Johnny Perez.
There you go. Yeah, JP squared. Nice one.
But I like this question from Matt, Comics 96. Were the wingers more involved without Puig? I feel like they were involved differently. When you have Riqui Puig on the field and he's coming at you through the middle of the field and he's just hauling ass down there, and the 2 wingers are flanking him and they're playing off of him. That's really what they're looking for is that ball from Riqui Puig. In this one, I feel like they were a little bit more involved in the buildup. We saw it with Diego drifting out to the flanks. We saw it with Gabriel Pecky, combining with Dayon. Again, I just feel like they were involved differently. You brought it up. Greg maybe needs to look at how this team was balanced in this match and try to find that right equilibrium when Ricky is available. So anyway, but that's what I feel like. What about you, man? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
I think you're right. The wingers were involved in a different way. The way I saw it play out was, I feel like without Riqui Puig in there, you've got players like Yamane, like Delgado, like Peck, that have sort of, without that creative flair and spark of Riqui, I feel like in a weird way, it kind of allows them to express themselves a little more. You saw some really, really good combination play, especially on that right half space between Yamane, Dayon, Peck. And so when you don't have a creator like Riqui, again, I'd rather have him than not have him. But when you don't have that, other players have got to step up and sort of be sharper on the 1-2 combinations, be sharper with their interplay. And we saw that a lot, especially on that right half space. So yes, they were involved, Matt. But they were involved a little bit more in the 1-2 build-up plays. And that's a good sight to see, man. That's a phase of our game that I haven't seen a lot lately. And so if we want to be that possession-based team, you got to have those quick combination plays.
Well, guys, let's go ahead and check out some match stats here. After this match, the Galaxy ranked 3rd in the league overall with 35 goals scored during 2024. Like I mentioned, they remain unbeaten in 8 games played at home. They are now 4-0-4. They've scored 20 goals at home, 12 goals against. Interestingly enough, we saw Diego slot into what, quote unquote, is the 10 position. We didn't really see him take up an actual cam or number 10 role. Like we said, he was drifting out to the flanks. But for every game he started this year, the Galaxy are unbeaten. They're 4-0-5.
Saw that. It's crazy stat.
Maybe credence to that whole balance argument, right? Guys, in the last 10 matches, the LA Galaxy has picked up 16 out of a possible 30 points. Of course, they did hit a little bit of a slide there towards the end of the first half, or as Greg Vanney said, the second half of the first half. I like how he did the first half of the first half, so now I'm going to keep on using that from him. We did mention Miguel Berry scored his second goal. It just so happened to have been his second stoppage time goal of the year. This guy likes scoring in stoppage time. And of course, you had your big performers and some of your defending the badge nominees. At home this year, these guys have done their thing. Of course, so has Riqui Puig, but he didn't play. So, we're going to go ahead and focus on these guys here. Dayon at home, 5 goals, 2 assists. Gabriel Pecky. And I'm sure you guys will talk about this in that Galacticos video that's coming out tomorrow night. Guys, go ahead and check that out. He totaled 10 goal contributions, 5 goals, and 5 assists at home so far. And JP, Joseph Painso, has 6 goal contributions, 3 goals, and 3 assists in 6 matches played at home. Ananda, I like these stats because they show that you're getting the production from the guys that you need to be getting the production from, right? And one of those guys we've already spoken about a lot, and as well he should be spoken about because I consider this to be kind of like a breakout performance, not in the fact that we didn't know that he could do this, but the fact that he actually went out and actually did it in Gaston and Ricky's absence. I feel like he took the team on his shoulders and he became the focal point. And I've said it a bunch of times. I loved his interchange with Dejan Joveljic in this game. What did you see out of Gabriel Pecky in this one?
Yeah, I'm just going to build off of your point because, like I said, but that 1-2 combination play, we've seen it a couple times this season, Robert. In fact, we have some tape. Again, guys, catch that Los Galacticos episode tomorrow because we do have some tape of Gabriel Peck playing off of Dayon 1-2s, sort of in and around that penalty area. And he's really dangerous there. And, Decky is, I think, undervalued in that part of his game, Robert. I think he's got a really, really smart back to goal game. And he has those really nice layoffs, really nice touches. So that's one to watch as well. But no, one of the things, again, I don't want to spoil it too much for tomorrow's video, but one of the things I really liked about this game, and I think he needs to exploit this more, is his directness, Rob. The more direct he is, meaning with his progressive carries or the way he just carries the ball or gets in and behind the back four, the more direct he is as a player and makes quick decisions, the better he is. So I felt like he was decisive in this game. He was authoritative in his touches and his passing. And when his confidence gets up, we saw the Olays at the end of the game, right, Robert? Nutmegging people left and right. You see that confidence building, and that's the flair. That's that like little piece of what do you call, like, unpredictability in a winger that you need. And I think that's going to make him like go from here to all the way up there. So now, really, really good game, man. Just really happy to see, like you said, this might be that breakout game that he needs, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. We knew he could do this. And I've heard people say, the knock on him right now is that he hasn't done it away from home. Well, I think that's going to be like the next facet to his game. If he can combine some good away performances as well, I think, we're already seeing a great player, but he's going to be able to take it up even another notch. And hopefully he does, because, Greg mentioned that Riqui is kind of touch and go himself with his groin injury. He had been carrying it for a couple weeks. Apparently, they had been, checking in with him to see how he felt. And then finally it just came to a head and he couldn't go, or it was decided that they weren't going to risk him, more accurately. But one of the things that we've spoken about is that we can take heart in the fact that, if Riqui Puig now sits, the Galaxy can find a way to win. Last year, if Riqui Puig wasn't on the field, it pretty much felt like a loss before it had even started. So this team found a way to win without Riqui, and then even more so without Gaston Brugman. But Greg had some really good comments on what the team can do or how they look without Riqui. And Ananda's going to go ahead and show you guys.
I think for me, we are positionally a little bit more stable, right? Our 2 pivots stayed in our pivots. We were more predictable even for each other in terms of our spots. When Ricky's on the field, he starts high, he comes low, he defends high, he drops low. That sets a series of movements into play that are very hard to defend, and Riqui has special qualities to be able to change the tempo of a game like nobody else, I think, in our league. So we had to manufacture that through good positional play, speed of ball movement, things like that. There wasn't many guys on the field today from our group who are in the building section who are going to pick up the ball and skip through the lines and create speed in the game. It's going to happen through just sharp one-touch passing, one-touch, two-touch passing, combination play, opening our body, play through the lines, and then let's go. And because we were in good spots, because we knew where each other were, we were able to manufacture his speed in a different way than we do sometimes when Riqui's there. When Riqui's here, if we can do a little bit of both, stay inside the system, but also use his qualities in the best way possible, we even have another level than I think that we've seen for sure tonight or at other points in the game.
Yeah, man, he brought up a lot of really good points. Brought up a lot of really good points.
Well, he touched on something that you did. The team was not allowed, but the team expressed themselves. When Riqui Puig is on the field, and we've seen this, you brought up Gabriel Pecky as well, being a little bit more direct. When you're Gabriel Pecky and you have Riqui Puig on the field, you're going to be looking towards him because that's what your system's based around, right? Your coach has the team set up to play this way, and so that's why you're going to be looking for him. He's not on the field. All of a sudden, it takes away that dimension of we need to look to this guy to go ahead and start our play or start the system or start offensively what we want to do. That element wasn't there anymore. I kind of feel like sometimes because Ricky's so fast that the team struggles to keep up with him a little bit, or maybe not physically, but sometimes mentally, when he plays that final ball and the team's not like on the same wavelength and the ball gets lost. And so that's why again, this was big. This was a big deal that they won this game without Riqui. We've spoken about Gabriel Pecky taking on the creative workload. Diego Fagundes did it as well, but more than anything, the workload was very even. And again, we talked about the balance there. We have a comment here. Lots of dudes stepped up big time. Delgado super underrated on Saturday. Neal is awesome. Yeah, I agree. Really quick on Jalen Neal. I like how that fool got knocked down and he just popped right back up again and was like, "What, son? Like, whatever." And while we're on the subject of people, and trying to get bodied and stuff like that, all I gotta say is, Timolia, Galaxy fans will come at you, bro. Don't come at Dejan Jovalic like that, man. Like you can't be punching Dejan like that and just expect that nothing is gonna happen. I mean, like it.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, can you believe that Dejan got a yellow card for that?
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. You better watch out, man. Otherwise, you might, walk out of the stadium like Mbappe today with a broken nose and everything.
Oh, so, man, that was heavy,
nasty,
bro.
That was nasty. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But hey, Gary put another, again, building off that last comment. Gary said, I've said it once, I'll say it again. Delgado is a Toyota Tacoma, not going to be turning any heads, but the dude is solid and will always get the job done. And I want to talk about that in the context of what Greg did with the formation, right? So he pulled Delgado down from the 8 to more of like a double pivot, the 2 6s, however you want to see that. But, to that point, like Delgado sacrificed himself. He usually plays a little bit fired up the pitch, but Greg said, you know what? We need that extra protection. We need that balance. And Mark said, sure, I'll play whatever role you need me to, right? And you always see him going back there. I didn't take a look at how many tackles he had this game, but I always felt like he was in the right position, always trying to tackle back. Unfortunately, the one goal that SKC, the first goal that they did get, Delgado tried to track back and tried to cover Tommy. He was one-on-one against Tommy. Unfortunately, Tommy cut it back and it led to the goal. But that was more of a team thing, man. Like we were completely out of position and Delgado tried to bail us out of it. And he was in the right position, just couldn't make the play. But absolutely, Delgado is, we've always said it on the show, an unsung hero. And yeah, just like Gary said, a Toyota Tacoma for sure.
Well, again, that's the balance that was struck throughout this team. And we saw it bear fruit. I mean, 4 different players had goals. The team wasn't like, again, this is without Gaston and Riqui, 2 of your best players. The team was industrious. They found ways to score and ways to be there for each other. And then that's why you get, Gabriel Pecky with the goal and 2 assists and JP with the goal. Ananda, I found this interesting that the other day I was curious because I was sitting there reminiscing about the wonderful performance that Gabriel Peke put on. Very happy that JP scored, and I was thinking about our DPs from last year, and already JP and Gabriel Peke have more goal involvements for the Galaxy than the DPs had last year. Of course, Chicharito got injured; he only played 9 games. But Douglas Costa only played 19 games. At heart of what our criticisms of those two were last year, that they weren't available. Only 15 goal involvements all year for those two. So far this year, Gabriel Peke and Joseph Peso, 21, about halfway through the season. That's what you want from the ZPs, man. But, of course, it doesn't matter how many luxury toys you have or how many DPs you have if you don't manage them well. And you touched on it. We've spoken about the balance. I got to say that this is probably one of Greg Vanney's best managed games. I know that you agree. The double pivot was instrumental in finding the game here.
Yeah, I mean, he did for all the criticism that Vanney gets, right? Especially in losses. I see a lot more in losses, more so than wins. But I think he deserves a lot of credit. And for this game in particular, I mean, Robert, I actually put a list together of all the things he actually did really, really well into this game. Number one, like even before coming in this game, he didn't risk either Riqui or Gaston, right? And I think I'm starting to, and maybe again, I'm not like, I mean, I've never been Vanney in or Vanney out. I'm not really like, I'm not a fan of those conversations. But
I saw you carrying that Vanney out sign. For what happened?
Well, remember, I was actually defending, in that episode that we did with just
That's
Sophie
true.
last
That's
year.
true.
But first of all, Robert, I think he's looking more in the future. He's looking to see, he's trying to get to that last 10 game stretch and to say, how can I put my team in the best position to manage that 10 game stretch and have that momentum going to the playoffs? So one of the things is, and he's been really risk averse. I said it last episode, and he didn't want to risk either Riqui Gaston. It could have backfired on him for sure, but you know what? The way he managed this game, it didn't end up to be. He started Diego at the number 10. Diego's always started on the left wing, and it's funny, Rob. I think for this system, again, with a transition, I think speed on our wing position is much better in that more of transition game. So Gabriel Peck, JP, even Johnny Perez, right? Diego Fungunes, I think, is a great number 10. I think it's a great option to have, and putting him there also relieves the burden of him having to go back up and down that wing, because we do ask our wingers to track back quite a bit, right? And then on top of that, he said, okay, I'm going to put Diego at the 10, but I'm going to back him up, and I'm actually going to put 2 mobile DMs behind him, Cerrillo and Mark Delgado, to make sure that Diego doesn't have to go and chase back. So, and to reduce his workload, right? So it's those little things. And, one of the things that I think about, and this should be another conversation for another day, because I started really thinking about this morning, is, when we look at evaluate managers, there's 2 sides to this, right, Rob? There's managers, there's the coaching and development side. So we rate them on how well do they improve players, do they develop players at the right pace, do they make players better? And then there's also the management side, which is man management. So how do you deal with man management one-on-one? By the way he dealt with the Cuevas situation, absolutely impeccable, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then the other piece of it is in-game management. So do you learn from your mistakes? Do you make in-game adjustments? Do you look at certain things that are not working on the pitch and tactically adjust that within the game, even before the game starts or even during the game itself? So
when you're thrown something like the JP injury, like having, the gumption to say like, okay, well, sorry, Mauricio, I'm going to use you for about 20 minutes, man.
And he performed beautifully. And on top of that, I don't think, well, again, you could tell me or your colleagues in the press corps, but I don't think, obviously we didn't have a chance, or you guys didn't have a chance to talk to Mauricio, but I don't think he came away walking in that game like feeling like, oh, like I can't believe Greg only put me in there for 20 minutes kind of thing. I think he understood his role, and I think Greg probably managed that situation beautifully, and JP went in there and got the goal. So I think, yeah, man, from that perspective, I think that was a really well-managed game by Vanney. I got to give him a lot of credit for the coaching performance that he did for a guy that doesn't get a lot of credit, I don't think.
Man, I knew you were Vanney in.
Oh, get out of here. Let's not put 2 and 2 together and make that equal 4. Come on.
All right. Well, what was your moment of the match? Officially, the Galaxy's moment of the match was JP's return to the field. But do you have one?
I mean, honestly, I think it's that goal by JP. It's a nice moment for him. I think it's one of the ones where at 2-1, I was like, okay, there was still enough time in the game where this game could go either way. But at 3-1, with as much time as I thought the game was over, to be honest. And then they scored that goal in the 83rd minute. I was like, oh god. But at that time, I think it was too late. I think we had already had a lot of the momentum. Man, we created so many chances. I mean, Rob, 10 shots on target, right? That says everything right there. But it was nice to see that JP moment, and it was nice to sing his song when he scored the goal, right?
Well, that whole play, I mean,
Yeah.
that's my moment of the match as well. That's the third goal, guys. That's the one that made it 3-1. Of course, the Galaxy would need that cushion because SKC would come back and score their second. But we were speaking about how people were pining for Caligari and Miki Yamane came in, right? People were pining for Tyler Boyd, and then the wingers came in. This had all your summer signings combining for the third goal. So this one was Miki Yamane with a peach of a ball over the field, like across the field to Gabriel Peck, who squares it to Joseph Peitzo for the goal. This is probably Will Kuntz up there in the box, just being like, yes, and I did that. I signed all three of those fools.
And well done to the analytics department. Well done to the scouting department. They knew their stuff, and they knew the right players they had to get for Greg Vanney's system. So well done to the whole staff.
And since we're on the subject of these guys, well, at least Gabriel Pecky in the build-up to that third goal, he is one of our defending the badge nominees. Of course, he had the goal scored, 2 assists, 3 chances created. He had a 94% pass accuracy rating, 9 duels won, 4 successful dribbles, an interception, 6 recoveries, 9 duels won, and he made the MLS team of the match day for his good play. Dejan Joveljic, he also made the team of the match day. He, however, made the bench. He scored his team-leading 10th goal of the season. He also had an assist. He made 2 chances. He had 2 recoveries. And, of course, we spoke about that unearned yellow card that he had for that scuffle with Malia. Diego Fagundes, we've spoken about him a lot today, too. He tallied an assist. He had a game high 4 chances. So again, you got your creative workload or creative output there from Diego Fagundes. He had 5 recoveries and 4 duels won. And you had the guy who returned, the guy who gave us the UNI, Joseph Paintsil. JP recorded a goal. He finished the match tied for a game high 3 shots on target in 25 minutes. And he recorded his 10th goal contribution for the Galaxy in just 14 games, which is the fastest player to do that since Kichan Pavon in 2019, who did it in 10 games. But I did mention it earlier, and I got to mention it again. 2 big chances missed. So I feel like if he starts putting away those chances, I mean, we saw earlier in the season before his injury, he missed a couple. He's hit the post a couple of times. I mean, I can think of at least 7 more goals that he should have under his belt with,
I agree,
with the hit posts, with the chances that he's missed. But I think he's going to come good. I mean, he's showing us the chances that he's getting the chances. Now we just got to get him to put them away, right?
And we got to get him fit.
Yeah, definitely. Well, do you have a defending the badge winner, Ananda?
Yeah, I'm not going to be contrarian for contrarian's sake, Robert. It's Gabriel Peck, man, all day. We've kind of spit lyrical about him on this show, so I don't want to pile on too much. But again, I kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I just want to give an honorable mention to Mauricio Cuevas, man. If you're talking about defending the badge, the ultimate sign of defending the badge for me is sacrifice, right? Like you're literally sacrificing your role, and what I guess what character to show from
the team.
From a young kid like that to get in there with a smile on his face. He put in an amazing 15-minute shift. Actually looked dangerous on that wing, man, because he's got that speed, right? So honorable mention to him, but Gabriel Peck all day.
Yeah, like you said, not to be contrarian for contrarian's sake, it's got to be him. He was at the heart of everything that was good for the Galaxy the other day. breakout performance for him. We see that he can be the go-to guy if Ricky's not there or Joseph Painstill's not 100% fit. And huge performance for the 22-year-old. So he's my pick. And then, you know, with 23 million votes out there in the ether, Galaxy fans have picked Gabriel Peck to be their defending the badge winner with 79% of the vote. So congratulations to Gabriel Pecky for his third defending the badge win. He's leading now, Ananda. He has the most out of Galaxy players.
Was it his third? I got to recount that. I thought it was his second, but we do have a new leaderboard graphic coming up, guys. Rob is working hard on that, so we will get that up for you guys before the next. Well, I guess it would be the next reaction show. That would probably be after the NYC FC game, because that is a midweek game this week.
Speaking of coming up, guys, the Galaxy plays midweek, just 2 days away now. The Galaxy is back at home. They will host NYC FC on Wednesday, June 19th. On Juneteenth at 7:30, they'll play their second of 3 matches in the week, and this will be their third midweek game this year. Let's look at where these two teams are going into this match. Of course, XPH, shout out XPH. He gives us the stat here. NYC away record is 3 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw. Going a little bit further into that, the Galaxy, through 18 matches played in 2024, has an 8-3-7 record. They've given up 27 goals and they've scored 35. They're on 31 points. Good enough for third place in the Western Conference. They are now 5th in the Supporter Shield standing, 7 points back from leaders Miami, who have a game in hand. Over. Galaxy are averaging 1.72 points per game. Really quick, shout out to the boys from Miami, because they were missing like all their big guns and they were down to 9 men and still somehow got 3 points, Ananda.
Yeah.
So
Wild.
So I mean, yeah, what a match from them. I mean, that's one of those like, hey, you know, the Galaxy did it without Ricky and Gaston. Well, Miami did it without Messi and Luisito and 9 men. So way to one up the Galaxy in Miami. But XPH give us that good away stat for NYCFC. They are 9-6-2 on the year. They've scored 26 goals and they've given up 20. They are similarly 4th in the East. Galaxy are 3rd in the West. So right around the same places. They have 29 points and they're averaging 1.71 points per game. However, their last match was a 3-2 loss to Columbus Crew at home. They went down to 10 men from the 39th minute and they could not find a way to get back into this one. That was their only loss in the last 6 games. Only 2 in the last 10. And you know, since XPH brought up that stat, they are unbeaten in their last 4 away matches, and a lot of that is because of their goalkeeper, Ananda. Matt Freese is ranked 3rd in saves per match with 4.1 saves per match. This marks the 7th time the Galaxy and NYCFC will play. The Galaxy don't do well against them. They have a 2-4-0 record. There have been no draws in this series so far. The last match was a 1-0 home win for the Galaxy in February of 2022. And in 4 matches at home, they have a 2-2-0 record. Ananda, go ahead and let us know about some injuries, if you would be so kind.
So let's pull up the team news here. So yeah, it doesn't look like there's any major injuries on their side, Robert. I believe that red card was for the suspension was for the red card, from their defender. That's Ilinich from the last match. But for us, again, I heard Josh and Corner of the Galaxy say he doesn't think that Ricky's going to be back. I would tend to agree with him. I don't think he's going to be back until probably not even the next game after that, Robert. I'm assuming he's probably going to be back next week. Gaston, I haven't heard anything personally. I don't know if you have, but it doesn't sound like he's coming back anytime soon either. I think it's touch and go with him as well.
Yeah, a couple of weeks in Gaston. I mean, from the way that Greg makes it sound, it's Ricky's closer than Gaston. Gaston's a couple of weeks away. Greg's actually said, for every step forward, it feels like, he takes a step back. He did have the bone bruising on the leg that he had surgery on. So, they're just being careful, and you said it earlier, they're trying to put themselves in this position to have Gaston on the pitch for the stretch run. So I'm not mad at this. But Greg did say that Riqui is kind of touch and go. You could see him midweek. No media availability this week, so we can't ask him about it. But I suppose we'll show up on Wednesday and we'll know, right? But if it were me, I would say don't risk them. I mean, if you're trying to have all your pieces in place for the stretch run, you don't got to do this one right here. I mean, your team struck that good balance. Your team can play without him. Do it. So you brought up on Ilinic. He is suspended on the red card for NYCFC. Good little right back. He's played 14 matches for NYCFC. 11 those being starts, so they might miss him a little bit. In terms of the lineup, Ananda, what do you see Greg doing here? I mean, played on Saturday, they play a couple of days later, but of course you have some injury worries. What do you do here?
Well, I mean, we don't have many options in the midfield, do we, Rob? I mean, we've got some of the young kids. We've got Lepley and Ruben Ramos, but, are they ready to kind of step in? I don't think so. I feel like we're going to have to go just by default, have to go with the same midfield three. And that's going to be a lot of minutes, especially on guys like Diego and Mark. I mean, Mark, we know he has 3 lungs, but, of course, you don't want to get him up to the red line as well, fitness wise. So I feel like the same midfield three. And, I think Johnny Perez's status is in question as well. It sounded like he was okay, but again, with that short turnaround, who knows, right? And I don't know if you have any more info on that, but if he can't start out there, I mean, what do you do? I mean, do you put Cuevas up there, or do you just go ahead and start JP right away? If we think that he's fit enough. Again, he's just coming back from injury, and I've always told you, Rob, that I feel like Greg's more risk averse in these type of things, but JP does seem like a fit cat. So I don't know. I'm not sure. It's that quick turnaround that's a little weird. The advantage is we are at home. So whatever treatment, right, whatever recuperation, recovery, rest and recovery that we need, we don't have to travel. We don't need to get on a flight. We can do that all here in the comforts of, all the medical staff that's around, et cetera. So that will be a plus, but looks like there's a lot of touch and go situations on this team, man.
Yeah. Johnny was precautionary. Nothing really wrong with him. They just, kind of felt it a little bit. And so they withdrew him because of precaution. And so who knows if he's going to be ready or not. I mean, you have, 3, important players for this period, just not even 3, 4. I mean, you're waiting on Riqui. Gaston's not going to be fit, but you're waiting on Riqui. You're waiting on Johnny Perez. You're waiting on Joseph Paintso. Can Joseph Paintso go for the start? And then, interestingly enough, you brought up Mauricio Cuevas, who did show pretty well on the wing. So do you use him as an auxiliary winger? Who knows? But the Galaxy do have a headache there for selection, or Greg Vanney does anyway. Ananda, before we get into predictions, of course, you're going to go ahead and hit us with some stats, but chat, go ahead and hit us with your predictions before we go ahead and get wrapped up here. We got to give you that prediction. So give us yours, and Ananda, take it away.
And Rob, I was gonna say that last point too, man. Me with square pegs and round holes. I really don't like that. I mean, if we have to play Cuevas out there, fine, but that's not my preferred choice. Maybe there's a young kid out there. I mean, hey, Gino Vivi would have been perfect for this, right? So out on that wing. So we'll see. But so here you go, guys. The match preview stats, as we always do it. Very interesting here, Robert. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know too much about NYCFC. They play in the other conference. We don't get to see them a lot. So I kind of looked at the stats and kind of took a gauge of how they are. And man, they are not a bad looking team. I mean, you can see why they are where they are in the Supporter Shield standings. I mean, offensively, they LA Galaxy are, Robert, we're actually back up number 1 in the expected goals charts at 34.2. NYCFC are in the top 10. They are no slouches at 27.4 expected goals in their first 18 or half the season gone. And then I look at this, Rob, pretty interesting shots on target per match. We talked about the high volume of shots on target the LA Galaxy have been getting lately. New York City FC are no slouches either. LA Galaxy are at 6.2 shots on target per match. New York City only one behind at 5.1. So that's something for us to look out for, that they do have a threat offensively. And here's another interesting one, Robert, that I don't think I've showed before, but I thought this was interesting in the conversation that we had kind of more towards the beginning of the show about us getting our front attackers, our inside forwards, our wingers in that opposition box. So New York City FC looks like they like to do that as well. They're ranked 4th in the league with 486 touches in the opposition box. LA Galaxy second at 500. So these are going to be two teams that like to get in and around the penalty yard area and create dangerous situations. So guys, look out for that as well. Now we're going to look at the defensive end, and man, they're a pretty decent defensive team, Rob. Only 1.2 goals conceded per match. They, surprisingly though, they're kind of like the Galaxy, where they play like decently defensive games. I think I heard a stat. I don't want to misspeak, but there was a good stat that Josh brought at the corner of the Galaxy, and he was talking about that. I think it was something like the Galaxy has not conceded more than 2 goals in only a few games or something like that. We've been pretty decent defensively in terms of like the numbers, but clean sheets, like we have the same amount of clean sheets as New York City FC, funny enough. So it seems like New York City is a team that does let in a goal or two. And then XG conceded, where we let teams on. I mean, we're 30.8 XG conceded. New York City FC, middle of the pack at 24. So again, really interesting from, I think, both sides. New York City FC is going to be an attacking team. We see that in the stats. I'm going to expect them to come out at us. Their last away game, they did win 1-0 against New England. So they are capable of beating teams on the road, Rob. And yeah, for me, this is always like when you ask me about, how you're feeling coming to this game, for me, it's less about them and more about us. Like, how do we respond to that 2-day recovery, right? That 2-3 day recovery? How do we respond to that quick turnaround? Do we have that same intensity that we did the last game and start off in the front foot? Like you said, we came up with a great start, especially at the digs, because we got to keep that unbeaten streak alive, right, at home.
Well, SoCal says NYC hottest team behind LAFC and Cincy. They have weapons, man. They are going to attack, and you said you hadn't seen a lot of them. That they're definitely not slouches, man. They before their latest loss here over the weekend, they hadn't lost in 80 days, or they had one previous loss before that in 80 days. So almost 3 months where they hadn't lost, right? So this team knows how to win. They know how to play for each other. And of course, there's got to be one guy pulling the strings, right? So Santiago Rodriguez, he is that guy for NYCFC. He plays as their 10, their attacking midfielder. 7 goals and 4 assists this year for 11 goal contributions. XG is 6.02, so he is outperforming that. He creates a lot of chances just by himself, man. 40 chances created. He is instrumental to everything that they do. He's played in all 17 of their matches. And he likes to have a pop from and this is the one that kind of worries me a little bit, because he likes to have a pop from outside the box. 2 of his 7 goals have been from outside the box. In fact, 29 of the 50 shots he's taken have been from outside the box. So look for him to just try to surprise John McCarthy with one of those outside the box shots.
And actually, one note too on Hannes Wolf, Robert, a guy that we've got to look out for. He's actually tied for second for most big chances created in the league at 9 big chances created. So look for him as well. It seems like he is a guy that likes to unlock the defense and create a lot of chances for their team.
Oh yeah, Hannes Wolf is doing his thing on the left wing, man. He's another one of the dangerous players. I mean, he's been combining with Rodriguez really well. 3 goals and 3 assists for NYC FC this year. He's also played in all 17 of their matches. 16 of those have been starts. He's been one of their most consistent performers. I mean, he the way he's been getting the way he's been finding understanding with Rodriguez has been really, really good. I mean, honestly, I was looking at the highlights of some of their games, and it kind of gave me that Gabriel Peck, Dejan Jovic kind of vibe, the way they're kind of combining with each other. You mentioned that he has the most big chances created in MLS. Well, 32 tie for second.
Yep.
Yeah, tied for second with the most big chances in MLS. Well, 32 chances created total for Hannes Wolf. This is the one that interests me. Alonso Martinez, he's their striker, Ananda. 6 goals and 1 assist off 19 shots in only 11 matches, 5 of those being starts. He's only played 456 minutes, and he has 6 goals and an assist. Man, that's some elite production right there, man.
Yeah.
XG of 3.48, 19 shots. I mean, I'm kind of scared of this guy, man. I mean, everybody knows, Rodriguez is their guy. Hannes Wolf was doing his thing. But then you have the unknown quantity in Alonso Martinez, only 456 minutes played, and he's banging in some goals, man. Is it just me, or are you scared for the defense a little bit?
Yeah, again, there's some, I think someone said in the chat, they've got a lot of tricky customers and a lot of players that we're not familiar with, right? For sure, not me. And again, we don't see them a lot because they are in the East, so we kind of play them every other year. So this is one of those things where hope Greg Vanney and his coaching staff have a good scouting report on NYCFC and how we can neutralize them. Because again, I think if we don't come in with the right intensity, the right organization, I would love to see that 4-2-3-1 again. Just give us the right balance so that this game doesn't get blown wide open, right? We don't want to get embarrassed in front of our home fans.
Well, Ananda, let's go ahead and start wrapping this one up.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give us some betting odds before we get our predictions out there.
So betting odds for this one, guys, and always bet responsibly. So per DraftKings, the line right now is LA Galaxy is at a negative 1.105. NYCFC is at a plus 230, and a draw is at 280. So that's about a 50% chance that the bookies are giving them. The LA Galaxy, that is, at home, and then they're giving NYCFC a 29% chance, which honestly, Robert, that's not bad. Usually, like,
not at all.
Not at all. Usually we see them probably in the low 20s, like the high teens. So they are giving NYCFC a little bit of a shot. I'm trying to think of what factors would play into that line. I'm not sure. Maybe the absence of Riqui Puig and Gaston Brugman, who knows, the injury reports. But yeah, kind of an interesting one there. Wow, it's making me think a little bit about my prediction now. I had a prediction in mind, but let's see here.
Gary Cambrone asks, do they still have Teles Magno? Yes, they do. He hasn't really been seeing a lot of time. Actually, he's been kind of criticized on that side for not showing the form that they expect from him. So he's been riding the pine a little bit. So, Nanda, I'm going to put you on the spot first. Go ahead and hit it up.
Yeah, I'm not too confident on this one, Robert. At least not confident in my prediction, but I am going to go for a very, very narrow 2-1 victory. I think we are going to somehow pull it out at the digs. I would say my head pick would have been a 1-1 draw. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's this tight turnaround. It's the fact that, like, can we repeat this performance with the roster that we have? I feel like you can make these type of performances at some point, but at the end, you got to have talent, and you got to have, especially your midfield. You've always said, Rob, midfields are won and lost, right? Or they are the key factor in our teams winning or losing a game, and just not having those two guys there and putting a lot of stress and a lot of minutes on our midfield three it just might be a lot, but I feel like somehow with JP being back, I think we are going to somehow pull it out 2-1. But again, I'm not 100% confident in. We need at least a point, but we definitely need all three. I think to keep us in the sort of the top 3-4 in the Western Conference.
Yeah. Well, before I give you mine, let's go ahead and go to chat. Let's see what chat has to say on this match. We've given you the betting odds. We've given you the stats. We've let you know form. It all boils down to this, guys. Gary Cameron says 3-0. We finally get a clean sheet. Lord willing. Tony Toscano says 2-1 Galaxy. I'll take that too. Galaxy goes down by XPH says Galaxy goes down 0-2 in the first half. Somehow they tie 2-2, and Yoshida with the winning goal in stoppage time.
Wow, I could see that happening. I really could.
Leonardo Ruiz says 2-2 draw. He's on the XPH train as well, calling the 2-2 draw. And then Gary Cameron says, I rescind my prediction. I'll say 1-0 Galaxy. Definitely, you can do that for sure. What else we got on it?
I think that's it for now. Yeah, that's it.
All righty. I'm on the XPH train too, man. I'm calling the 2-2 draw. I really hate to say a draw, especially because you need all 3 points at home. But the team being how it is, having a lot of question marks over who's going to play, who's going to be fit, who's going to be available, couple of days rest. NYCFC is not a bad team if you can get out of there. Ideally with the win, if you can find the right balance again that you had against SKC, but I'll take the draw. I got to be realistic, and honestly, I would want them to, if there are any questions about Riqui, sit him. Any questions about Johnny, sit him. Any questions about Joe Schmidt on the corner, sit him. Don't play him, because you know why? I want that RSL match a lot more. I want that one a lot more. Well, speaking of RSL, after NYC FC, the Galaxy travels to Utah over the weekend. They'll play RSL away on Saturday, June 22nd at 6:30 p.m. This match, of course, this is without the standings of tomorrow's match, is first versus third. As a reminder, the Galaxy drew 2-2 at home in the last match versus RSL. The RSL raced off to a 2-0 lead before the Galaxy brought that one back and tied it 2-2. I believe that was Barry's first goal, wasn't it?
Yes, you are right.
Yeah,
the same way he scored his second goal too. Just stick that leg out and tap it in.
I'm about it. Well, I think that's our show today. Anana, do you have anything to add?
I always leave last word to chat, so I am looking to see if there's anything in chat that is, let's see here. Gary Cameron says, trap game. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do when you lose some foes?
There you go, Gary.
Yeah,
and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, guys, if you're here, it's because you found us on youtube.com youtube.com/@Lacuna Galaxiana. You can find us on all our socials at Lacuna Galaxiana. Matt from Comments is calling a 3-1 win. I hope that one comes to pass as well. I'll take any version of the win. Unfortunately, I'm just not optimistic it'll happen. So guys, again, thank you so much for being with us. We will be back with you guys on Thursday night. That'll be a combo NYCFC reaction and RSL preview show at 9 p.m. Thursday, June 20th. And of course, we will bring you our reaction for RSL away. That match is on June 22nd, and we will bring you that reaction on June 24th, Monday at 9:05 p.m. Man, games are coming thick and fast, and then we have Copa America on top of it. Vamos Ecuador. So I think, Ananda, I think that's it from us, man. Are you sure you got nothing else to add?
I got one more thing, guys. Remember to catch our new show, Los Galácticos. That's me and Alex Ruiz tomorrow, debuting tomorrow at 9 p.m. The link is in the description, so go ahead and check that out, guys, after. And we hope you enjoy. Definitely, if you like it, or we do ask a question on there, so go ahead and leave as many comments as possible and let us know if you're liking it. So check that out tomorrow.
Yeah, y'all. Check out Los Galácticos' first video tomorrow. Check out Lacuna Galaxiana on Thursday night. We'll bring you that NYC FC reaction RSL preview. Thank you so much for being here with us once more. We can't do it without you. Los queremos mucho. Mucho amor para ustedes. And one thing left to say, right?
Yes, sir.
G's up. You